So Shushmaji told me one really important thing.
Okay.
When I first started at RJ1200, Spice Radio, she said the moment that you stop feeling nervous when you're about to go on air is the moment you probably need to find a new career.
I love this question. Would you take on a $200,000 job, become a company man? Or would you take $50,000? Oh, not a chance. He doesn't even want it.
No.
Like, just what is it about doing what you're doing now versus being comfortable with the job?
It's the freedom. Yeah, it's the freedom, man. I have friends who make a lot more money than I do. I mean, I chose to work in the arts. Maybe I'm not very smart at business because I chose to work in the arts. There's not a lot of money in the arts.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of satisfaction.
A lot of fulfillment.
Fulfillment when you're working for yourself too. There's freedom. Like you guys work for yourselves as well.
Yep.
You have the freedom to do things at your own schedule, at your own pace. I have a family, I have kids, I have a wife. So like, if I need to go to my son's basketball practice or a tournament on the weekend, I can do that. Right? I can make sure I get my work done so that I can go do these things. So there's that flexibility, which is really important, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, 200,000 is a big difference from 50,000. I might have to think about that.
Yeah.
But if it's like 200 versus 100, I'll probably stick with 100, which is still a lot of money, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, not these days though, right? Because the real estate market's pretty crazy these days.
It's funny.
It always comes. Yeah, you need a little bit more.
Like real estate's way too expensive.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go back to something else.
Well, no, not that I minded.
No.
But no, it's cool. I like it.
What's your one-word question?
Next one. Discomfort.
I love it. Yeah. I think comfort is scary to me. Yeah, comfort is scary. It's risky. It's boring. I think when you get too comfortable, you need to start worrying. Like discomfort is where some of the best work happens. Specifically in the arts, even some of the best art is created during times of conflict, right? Entertainment, anything. You look at anything when there's conflict, it's how you deal with it, right? How do you resolve that conflict? I think that's a really important skill. I try to teach it to my Bhangra students at Kwantlen. I know it's a Bhangra course, but I teach a lot of other life skills in my course. Yeah, you're going to learn how to dance. You're going to learn how to do Bhangra. But there's a lot of teamwork involved, conflict resolution, scheduling, communication skills. How do you build those? Listening, actively listening. All these different skills you learn working in a group, in a team. So yeah, conflict I love because I enjoy resolving conflict, right? Sure. I never used to like conflict. I think when I was younger, with a lot of young people, you stay away from conflict. You run away from it. It's
hard conversation.
It's uncomfortable, right? It's like I don't want to have this conversation. Like, what do I say? What do I do? Saying no is a big part of that.
Right.
Like you know what I mean?
Question. I guess this is more of a spiritual question, and then I'm curious about your answer.
Yeah.
When I was younger, and I'll tell you where this question comes from. When I was younger, it was a lot about push, like work hard, work your tail off.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older, I've allowed things to come to me more. Did you kind of go through a similar thing, or were you always just like things are coming to me?
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I was very similar too.
Yeah.
Always pushing and burning the midnight oil, the candle at both ends, whatever analogy you want to use. Just saying yes to everything and doing as much as you can.
Right.
But I think, as you get older and more mature, you realize you can say no to stuff.
Yeah.
Or you can say yes, but.
Right.
Like you can change whatever it is you're being asked to do.
Change the conditions of it.
You can change the conditions. You don't have to just say yes to everything, right? It takes a while to learn that though.
If you went back, would you tell your younger self that you can let things come to you, or would you let yourself go the way you did?
I think I would let myself go the way I did, because you have to live through it to learn it.
For sure.
Right? It's easy for me to say this now.
Right.
But for someone who's listening, a young person who's listening, they might want to try things out for themselves, right? It's different when you go through that experience, right?
Were you thinking of saying yes to the opportunity then, or were you saying yes to something that you were trying to fulfill from the inside?
I think just saying yes to the opportunity. I think when I was younger, I didn't want to give up any opportunities.
Yeah.
Whether it was just even a simple performance, right? Something simple.
Just like fear of not having it again?
Exactly. Gotcha. Fear of missing out, but fear of not having it.
That's such an amazing...
Maybe I won't get this opportunity, and I should go do it.
Exactly.
I love that, because you disassociate any type of compensation for what you want for yourself to make yourself happy.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people are lacking. They're always chasing this goal of making and achieving more,
Right.
but then they sacrifice the thing that they love doing most. And you've actually like embodied all that together, where you're bringing so many people into the space that's going to help them in the long term.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to read whether it's I'm taking this opportunity because I feel like I don't have enough, like a scarcity.
Yeah.
Or if it's more from like, I just want to put it all out there. Well, which one was it? A bit of both.
I think a bit of both.
Yeah.
And part of it is compensation too, Karn. Like,
Yeah.
like when you're younger, as like an
you're
emerging
hustling.
younger
Yeah,
artist,
yeah.
you're hustling, right? You
Yeah.
want to take on every gig or every opportunity you
You're
can
building
get.
your resume at the point.
You're building your resume at the same time as well, and you're making a lot of connections, right? And I think it's important to get out into the community
For sure.
and meet people.
Yeah.
Right? You just never know who you're going to meet, where, right? So I'm actually more of an introvert.
Yeah. Me
Naturally,
Too. Me too.
like I'd be perfectly happy just sitting at home and not
Doing
going to
nothing,
any
yeah.
public event and doing nothing.
I
right?
don't know why I've learned this, and maybe it's because I've done sales for so long, but I found that the best salespeople are introverts because they almost understand the discomfort that someone else might feel.
Right.
And if the other person's an extrovert, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if in the off chance they are introverted, they know the impression that they're having. They're more
That
aware.
makes sense. Yeah.
I don't know, that's just something I've picked up.
I agree, man, because I'm
And
always
I
pushing
think-
through.
And introverts work harder because they know they have to push themselves. Like
I mean,
social batteries running down, and you're
I think I thrive in social settings.
yeah.
When I'm in that situation,
Right.
I'm comfortable. But my first inclination is always to just stick to myself.
Yeah.
Right. But I kind of push myself sometimes to get out of there and like
And then
go
once
do
you do
something.
it, you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad.
yeah, exactly. But my first thought is always like, nah, forget it.
To think to be in the arts or in the demographic of being like in front of the camera to have
Yeah.
butterflies, I'm always thinking, oh man, I don't want to feel discomfort. But then I guess you're not growing if you don't feel any discomfort.
No. So Shushmaji told me one really important thing.
Okay.
When I first started at RJ 1200, Spice Radio, she said the moment that you stop feeling nervous when you're about to go on air is the moment you probably need to find a new career.
Else, yeah.
Right? Because that means you don't care.
You don't care.
Right? You
You're
feel
detached.
nervous because
Yeah.
you care,
Yeah.
right? And you want to do your best.
Right.
So that's why you have those butterflies. You feel those nerves. And I still feel that, like I was saying, like even when we go on air now on TV, there's that like just moment of like, okay, whew,
Right.
it's good, right?
Oh wow.
I think that you're talking about a level of detachment, right?
Yeah.
And so how do you create that excitement? Because I know a lot of the stuff you've already probably experienced. There's a lot of events that you're hosting where you've kind of had it. Maybe things are a little bit different, but I'm sure you're running to that point where you did an event last year, you're going to do it again this year. How do you keep expanding? How do you make yourself or put yourself in new positions that you're actually excited about it or nervous? Right?
I think you mentioned expanding. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Is expanding or change,
Change,
right?
for sure.
Again, like I think a lot of people are afraid of change. I love change, right? And so I think we try to intentionally as a team incorporate something different every year.
Right.
It's like, okay, how do we add something to this a little bit, even if it's a small piece, right?
Right.
How do we continue to build and add every year?
Right.
And that maybe psychologically helps with the drive. I don't know,
Right.
but it also, provides something new to the community, right?
sure.
If we're doing the same thing over and over again,
For sure.
I don't think that's beneficial for anybody.
Yeah, it has to be bigger
Yeah.
and better.
And it almost,
Yeah.
I found in business, when you do it that way, you actually start regressing.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
actually, like, you might have an audience 3,000, but if you start not doing the little things and trying to expand, you'll actually start to lose your audience, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
You're not reinnovating, you're not reinventing yourself.
Yeah, the expectation gets bigger too.
Yeah, it does, man.
Right.
When I think about hockey night, we used to do these segments, and when we started doing these new segments, they were exciting because they were new segments. We had never done them before, and it was like really entertaining, really engaging. We got a lot of great feedback online.
Right.
But 2, 3, 4 years go by, and we're still doing these same segments.
Right.
We're not getting the response, but we also are not feeling motivated anymore to do these like segments, which
It's not inspiring at all.
it's not inspiring. It's
Nope.
kind of
Is
become
it like
dry
a
for us,
topic that
right?
you're not interested in?
It's not even the topic. It's like it's the type of segment it is, right?
Right.
So the last couple of years, we've changed a lot of the things that we do on our show, right? Is because we noticed that we
You're
were
not
not
excited, so
we were
the
not
audience
excited
can't be
anymore.
excited,
So why
yeah.
would the audience be excited?
Exactly.
Right. So
It's
we
all
started
relative.
tweaking a little bit every year, and even like week to week, we tweak, right?